Yeah, okay, so playing Clearpath Live, did that again on the weekend, kind of unexpectedly. I've been sort of training for my health and everything, and to get ready to play a set at the start of next month, which is still a couple of weeks away. And I need to do that because I'm going through a lot at the moment, so it's kind of like everything I can do to prepare myself for doing important things. It's I need a lot of time. Anyway, I had an opportunity come up on the weekend to go out and play, and at first I was in such a bad way that I was like, you know what, fuck that, fuck everything, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing nothing. So that's what I did, just like disconnected from the internet basically, and went to the forest and just slept and slept for like 3 days. And after doing that, kind of come good and kind of opened up the possibility to do something again besides just pure survival, which is what I'm doing most of the time. So I basically had an agreement like, yeah, I got invited to play through a mate, so I said, yeah, I'll do it if I can, but it's not really up to me because you know, number one, my health is in the gutter because I'm healing and getting better, but during that process, I'm fucked. So it's very wise for me to actually not have any obligations or commitments or appointments or any of that dumb stuff, but just to focus on existing and removing all the pressure from those sorts of things, you know what I mean? So I said, I don't know if I can do it, but if I can, then I'll see if I can, you know. So it got to that point where I just kept that in mind, like just after a solid rest, just like, well, see what you can do. You know, my car's got mechanical problems, and it could give out at any moment, or it could last for years, and I just have no way of predicting that. So the distance to get from where I've been staying to this place outdoors to play music, it's like 3.5 hours drive each way, which it's fine, I don't mind doing that, but car problems for one make it a bit sketchy, with, you know, cooling systems, so it's like you're at risk of overheating and doing some severe damage to the engine, which is, you know, I don't have facilities to repair such a thing. I could do it if I had the space, I could replace a motor or a transmission or anything, but without a space to work on a car, it's stressful. So there's that, and then there's the price of fuel and the price of food and just the amount of energy I'd have to put in to prepare, get everything ready, sort through stuff in storage, get rid of everything out of the car that I don't need, add things back in that I do definitely need, and then random bonus things which I have no idea why I'm taking them, but it's an intuitive thing, like I'll find out later why I've got this with me, but for now I don't know, it just has to go in the car. So yeah, to give you an idea of the cost of everything, I got paid on the Wednesday. The event was on the weekend, and yeah, it's, you know, by Monday I've got minus $30 in my account and very little cash left, maybe 20 or $30. And I don't have a supply of food, I don't have a supply of water, I've got nothing. I've just burned it all to get there, to be there, to live my dream, you know, just showing up for it. So I had a good feeling. I tend to trust my feeling on something of what I want to go to and what I don't want to go to. So because I had a good feeling, and I think I already mentioned about meeting the crackhead guy and flipping a coin that he gave me, asking, am I going to have a good set this weekend? And it was like, yeah. And that was true. It was a good set. Part of this whole thing is learning and practicing, because I'm so, you know, I'm experienced writing music, but I'm not experienced necessarily playing music that much. So that's part of the path of the artist, is to step one, create. That's wonderful, but step two is share what you've created, which is for someone who's heavily introverted and doesn't like to be noticed or seen at all, that's a process to go through where it's quite excruciating, to be honest, to have so much attention all at once, and then to have all these you know, like, we're our own worst critics, so a lot of self-sabotage or harsh judgment or insecurity, or feeling like you know, my music doesn't fit in, it's not like everyone else's music. But then that's why it's good to begin with, you know, it is different, it is uniquely mine, and it's not actually a good goal to have to blend in with everyone else, because why would you want to do that? Like, it's something that people have already seen and heard 1,000 times over. It's like, we don't need more of that, we've got that. We need something fresh and different, which keeps the scene alive and thriving and keeps it going to the next generations, you know. So part of what I learned was to set my pride aside, and not that I'm a big pride person anyway, but I knew the sound system that I was going to be playing on, I knew it was really good, but I also knew that there's always shambles going on, and trickiness in getting the setup done and tuned in time for the event to start. So that was no surprise for me to find that the rig was not tuned properly, and it was not running well, and it was not even a fraction of what it can actually do and sound like and feel like. So it's like, well, do I even want to play my music on it? Like, I could just DJ it out and not do my own stuff to burn and waste it, because every time after writing music, every time you listen to it, it's wearing it out, and it's already so worn out that you want to listen as little as possible to prevent that from happening, to be able to actually share it and enjoy it with people, rather than sharing it and thinking, fuck, I'd love to have new music because I'm so sick of this, you know what I mean? So it's a practical consideration, like, do I bother playing on a rig that's not set up, it's not running at full volume, it's not even close? The cops have been 3 times trying to either shut it down or tell us to turn the volume down because of noise complaints, and it's like, you know, I could sneak up the master and get more volume, but then I'd be compromising the entire event, which You know, it's a blessing the fact that it's still running at all for me to have the opportunity to play, because I've been to events before where I've had a set booked and it's been shut down before I even got to play my set, you know. So in that sense, I mean, putting my pride aside, in that the rig's running, this music playing, don't be obsessed with the fact that the quality and the volume and everything is not on point and where you would like it to be. You do the best with what you've got. So if I'm feeling cold somewhere and like it's appropriate for me to be there, then it's on me, you know. It's my duty to show up and do the best I can with what I've got, and to put in that effort to share music, which is now old to me, but it's literally brand new to essentially most people in the world. Billions of people have just never heard it before. They would have heard something similar, of course, but nothing like this, because it's written by me, you know. So yeah, to go ahead with that was a good feeling, you know, in the face of all the challenges and difficulties that I've been going through with my health and mental stuff, physical stuff, just finances. You know what I mean? It can all just become an excuse, which you can self-sabotage your way out of living your dream. But to see and recognize the opportunity to connect with people and to do what you love to do most in the world, and to just try, you know, just try to see if you can show up for it. And, you know, if you can, so you see, you know, just see if you can, and if you can, so you see. And it turned out that I could, and I did. So I played, I didn't even know what time I was going to be on. It was just sunrise. I'd never seen any of the promo material. Apparently my name was on it. I didn't know how long I was playing for. I found out on the, I was on at sunrise Sunday morning. I found out, I got there like Saturday afternoon, like I made it there, and no dramas, everything went fine. I just had to have a really good solid rest for like 2 hours and interrupt the trip to get there, which was good. It was really good to take a couple hours for myself and have something to eat. I realised I'd just fucked my body from having junk food for a whole day while I was rushing around, you know, not rushing, but not dragging my feet, going around trying to prepare everything. There's always a fair bit to do when you're about to go away somewhere, just to make sure you don't get caught out without water or clean clothes. So, you know, you gotta clean out the whole car and get rid of stuff that's not necessary, and do a load of washing, have, you know, clean clothes to wear, have food prepared, have water prepared, have fuel in the tank, and like all this stuff takes time and money. So yeah, found out on the Saturday night that I was on at like 6:30 until 8. I thought I was on for an hour, but it was an hour and a half. So I think it worked out well to really not know much about it and not really give a fuck either. Like, what difference does it make as long as you get there and do what you do? That's fine. So Yeah, unfortunate about the cops, and I mean the thing is you'll get, because these things go out, they go on outdoors and go for days on end. It's tricky to have someone there the whole time in the booth to keep an eye on the levels, and so you'll get sneaky DJs that will I guess they're insecure about the volume thing and they just want it to be as loud as possible, and they'll be redlining things and the audio will be distorting and clipping, and people within, a 10-kilometre radius will start getting a whole lot of bass at ungodly hours of night and day, so they call the cops, and then the cops have to come and say turn it down, and then it gets turned down, but then another DJ will come on and start sneaking up the volume again and cause more problems. So that's just like doof politics. I tend to stay right out of it as much as possible, and in fact I was in bed sleeping or trying to get to sleep for that whole part where there were cops there and drummies and all that, so I did very well to basically just on arrival rock up, restack the wagon in the back to make the bed and everything accessible, and just wander around and say hi to a couple of people and then just go to bed straight away, and then got a few hours sleep, got up about 3:30 a.m. and had a few hours to prepare for getting on the decks, and wandered down, found out from the DJ before me that there's a 20-minute delay because of this and that, which is normal, so that was wonderful for me to have a little bit extra time buffer to sort my stuff out, because I'm not a DJ, so I've got to set up a lappy and an interface and cables and run all power cables and audio cables and this and that, and then realise I've forgotten certain things and run back to the car and grab them and come back, and then realise that some cables are actually fucked and I need to swap them out for spare ones. And anyway, didn't really have any major drummies and did have enough that I needed to get through. Like I said before, intuitively taking things which are rationally not necessary at all, but intuitively, you find out later on why you've got it with you, like spare audio cables. I mean, that's a common sense thing, but there's other things that, probably for a separate video. So, what else is there? People sort of cleared out of the dance floor. There was about 200 people there, maybe 100 to 200 total. But that means at any given time there might be 5 or 10 people, maybe 20 on the dance floor, and it will clear out and come back and clear out. So when I jumped on, it all cleared out because everyone was there watching the DJ before me, and that's fine. And then my job is to just do what I do and see what happens. So I think like there was one dude that was sort of getting into it at first, and one of my friends was there, but his body is not great. He's got a fucked back, so he could only really just stand there and listen, that's cool too. But then I sort of kept in mind that there's people at the event that can hear the music regardless of where they are. So you're not just playing to the dance floor, you're playing to the entire everyone all at once, whether you can see them or not. So that was good to keep in mind, and also just to enjoy myself and just experience like the deep appreciation of the way it is. It's like 2 years ago I sort of gave up on renting and working and pushing my dreams aside for the sake of putting some stranger's kids through private school, you know what I mean? Like mindless drone work that an AI robot can and will do in the future. That anyone could do that. It's not satisfying work, whereas with music, no one can do what I do. It's just technically impossible because they're not me. Sometimes I get feedback from people like saying, you know, I'll play them a track and they'll say, oh, you could have done this and that. I'm like, yeah, I know that, but I didn't. Like, everything I did was deliberate, and like, if I did all the suggestions that you're making, I'd be writing your music for you. It wouldn't be my music, would it? And they can come across as rude sometimes, but I'm not responsible for other people's emotional reactions, am I, at the end of the day? So whatever. I have confidence in myself and my own music and the quality of it. So I don't need people's feedback or criticism or anything. I mean, I take it on board in the sense that I'll listen to people's opinions, but I won't let them affect what I do in any way, because I know exactly what I'm fucking doing and I don't need advice. If anything, I'm the one that's able to give advice to people, but that's another story. So that's good for me. It's a healthy position to be in, and it's taken a long time for me to get there as an artist, as someone who writes music, to have that confidence and knowing within myself that I'm not swayed by other people's opinions of whether, you know, no one, you're never going to get 100% of people enjoying listening to what you've written, and if you did, that would be a concern. So to acknowledge that not everyone's going to like it, but some people will, and the main thing is that I fucking love it. And so if other people love it too, then that means we have a connection. And so, yeah, part of what I learned was to do with that, was that that's true. That's a real fucking thing. And to feel like a shift in myself as, you know, certain tracks would come on and people would appear because it's like a little mini calling for them. They're just like, that resonates with something with me. I want to hear that. I want to be there for that. And so they'll come and be on the dance floor, and I'll just sort of be doing what I'm doing, like getting into it. I'm usually dancing with my eyes closed, and I'm not mixing. I'm not really staring at the controls, other than to make sure my levels are within reason. Not redlining, that sort of thing. Sometimes I'll have my eyes closed and open them, and there's no one there before, but suddenly there's people there, and that's cool. And one of the special parts for me was the fact that the music is written at a certain time in a certain place, but there's always part of the writing process where you push back from all the equipment and just sort of dance around the room with your eyes closed, just imagining that exact thing of being outdoors with a big sound system and a bunch of good people, just sending it and sharing it, and to have that such a solid memory of like 2 years ago, like, fuck everything, I'm gonna write music because my soul needs to do that, and to have this track come through, like track 1 of this new dedication to a craft, you know, to be able to remember writing it and hearing it come through for the very first time, which is such a special experience, like a brand new track. You're the first person in the world to hear it because it's come through you, and like that in itself is just such a huge honor and a blessing, and just the joy of that, and just to be getting into it in the studio and imagining sharing it out, and then to be just dancing away as if you are in the studio and remembering that, but then to open your eyes and to see what you were imagining in your mind when you actually wrote it. It's like literally a dream coming true. And it's humbling, and it just brings so much depth of appreciation out of me. I just can't help but at some point stand there and just be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because like I remember, and it's so important to me, and it's such an honor to have like a unique place in the world, you know, have something which I'm here for, which if I quit, no one can replace me, whereas if I quit a normal job, I'm replaced within seconds by someone young and naive and not realizing that they're flushing their life down the drain for peanuts as a paycheck, you know. So yeah, something sort of shifted in me by the end of my set. I could feel like a core addition to this seed that I planted of this album, of this path of, you know, it's early days still, but very much intentional was this acknowledgement of what I was doing, even though most of the time I had no idea. It was just like this core, like glowing seed within me that I could feel, and it was just so precious, and I was like just caring for it. And then to see it sort of sprout and grow, and to be watching it, like, isn't that fucking special? I wonder what it's going to look like in 5 years' time, and how its shape is going to be, and how it's going to unfold, and just wanting to protect that as much as possible, but also add to it somehow. And I think the addition is through the sharing. It's through other people connecting with it and feeling that. There's a lot of strength in the album. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of just endurance energy of just it's like fuel to just like keep fucking going, because it's just, when you're in it, it's just you can't see the end of it, and you don't know where it's going, but you just know that something is coming through, and just like it's healing. So yeah, trusting that. And also funny to recognize, like, there's this one track, Complete Obsession, where as soon as I was writing it, I was just in love with it. I'm like, I fucking love this track, just from like just this rolling strength of it, and like a good trance, and just the power of it. It's not necessarily a such a full-on intense track to listen to, but there's just something about it that seems to click with people. It seems like other people just really get it without needing to know anything about it. Just straight away they'll be dancing. Yeah, and I've seen it in Queensland, just playing it on the street. People walking past up the street would just start dancing. It's just like, yeah, there's something really cool about that. And so yeah, when that track came on, an empty dance floor became a full dance floor within, you know, less than a minute. People just kind of come in and just getting into it, and that like charges me up more, and I'm like, yeah, you can tell you got it. Yeah, just like there's this strength there, there's this fucking energy there that I guess I'm not the only one that needed to feel that, you know. I guess it's something in the air that floats around. I just happened to grab hold of it and be in the right place at the right time to let it come through. So I could talk for hours about music just because I love it so much, but wanted to just summarize the weekend and update the fact that I did make it there, and it was an unexpected one. And I was looking more on the horizon, and this seemed to be almost in the way until I could refresh and get my head together enough to realize that this is actually exactly what I love to do, and it's here now. It's now. You know, it's I've been working as much as possible on chipping away at this little project for 2 years straight, and I guess it's bearing fruit already, which is crazy to see from such a little seedling that's only just sprouted. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I survived. I'm in one piece. I didn't overcook myself drugs wise, and I did manage to get an hour or two of sleep every night while I was there, so that I could be able to function this week and get back to appointments and runarounds and disappointments and ordinary life. You know how it is. Yeah, peace.